this shit. Ugh. What's good? We're not doing some gaming stream. We're gonna be doing some. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on with y'all, niggas? I'm trying to cook up some beats. I'm trying to cook up some beats. Recently, I don't know why this thing doesn't work, bro. What's wrong with speed chat, man? Shit's really annoying. We're gonna cook up, bro. I'm just get on my phone.
Leaky.
I'm about to just show you some shit I made last time, bro.
I love a big beat. 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 I love a big beat.
Yeah. I don't even know what to make. Ugh.
The past couple of years, it seems the rapper Yeat has taken over hip-hop by storm. He has already received major cosigns from top producers and artists alike, such as Lil Uzi Vert, NBA YoungBoy, Drake, and many more, establishing himself as a top 50 artist with respect to streams on a yearly basis, getting millions of followers in the process, and one of the strongest and most unique fan bases of recent emerging acts, all within a span of 2 to 3 years. Everybody, not just the fans, but the industry too, has watched in awe as he continues to surpass mainstream artist accolades effortlessly and without much industry push. At least, that's what they want you to believe. What if I told you Yeat actually signed multiple record deals, at least one of which, prior to gaining any traction? Not to say he's an industry plant by any stretch of imagination, but his come up definitely contains more than meets the eye. In case you aren't too engulfed into the Yeativerse, here's a little refresher of the past couple of years, in which he has far surpassed all expectations for his career success. Yeat has released 3 studio albums and an EP since the beginning of his rise to fame in late 2021, consisting of the albums Up to Me, 2 Alive, that was also accompanied by a deluxe edition aka The Geek Pack, Life EP, and more recently, Afterlife, all accomplishing their own respective critical acclaim. Up to Me was his first project ever to debut on the Hot Billboard 200 charts, initially reaching 183rd in September of 2021 and eventually peaking at number 58 as the album gained popularity via TikTok among other outreach. In fact, one of the tracks in the album, You Could Tell, featured in the hit HBO series Euphoria, executive produced by none other than Drake. Yeat's next album, 2 Alive, released early 2022, soon after a collaboration with Cole Bennett and Lyrical Lemonade on the project single Still Countin', and debuted this time at number 6 on Billboard, selling 36,000 copies in its first week. Not to mention consisting of his first major features from Young Thug, Gunna, and of course, Lil Uzi Vert on the Geek Pack. LAPD publicly shut down the listening event for this album to be held at the Roxy Theater in Los Angeles due to overcrowding, recruiting helicopters and news coverage in the process. Two Alive is widely known as the project that truly broke Yeat free from any underground rapper titles. Funny enough, Yeat used some of the news coverage sound bites in the intro of his next solo release, Talk, the lead single for the Life EP that debuted at number 10 on Billboard Hot 200 and sold 32,000 copies in its first week, consisting of only 12 songs, which in the streaming era most definitely affects album sales. Between these two projects, Yeat also commissioned a single to Lyrical Lemonade for their promotional trailer of the film Minions: The Rise of Gru called Rich Minion that became a viral trend on TikTok involving dressing in formal attire when going to the theater to watch the movie. And last, but certainly not least, Afterlife, the most recent and successful of Yeat's studio albums, debuting at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 200 charts with roughly 54,000 units sold within its first week. The rapper once again recruited a major feature from NBA YoungBoy after appearing on his mixtape a few months prior. Not much else needs to be said for Yeat's accomplishments so early on in his career, other than what surprises he will bring next. And this video has been brought to you by our sponsor, BandLab. And considering how skilled of a producer you all know that I am, I had to test out the sample feature on the BandLab app. All you have to do is go find an interesting sound to record, such as recreate the famous pouring lean in a double cup full of ice. That also sounds like a lion somehow, and I'm not gonna lie, it sounds pretty similar. Now, I'm not gonna even try to make a beat. I'm gonna leave that to the pros, but it is crazy that within like 5 minutes I was able to already become like Metro Boomin. So go test out the mobile application BandLab and start making music so easily today. At this point, Yeat is a rather established artist in the mainstream. Whether or not he's in tabloids or played on radio, most hip-hop listeners have heard at least one of his songs, even if it was in the background of a TikTok, which is the most visited website in the world for what it's worth. But it almost seemed like he skipped a ton of steps to get to this level, or at least sprinted through them, for his meteoric rise to fame only took a year or so from when he first started to gain traction with his music. In fact, Yeat went from gaining less than 1,000 Instagram followers a month in March of 2021 to over 1.1 million new followers in the next year. Many will and already do attribute this surge in growth to his public co-sign by Drake, arguably the largest contemporary artist in the world, which definitely didn't hurt, but honestly didn't move the needle as much as you would think. The path had already been paved. Or if we were to truly give credit where it's due, Wyland could arguably be the catalyst in Yeat's career, not only for his sound, as Wyland revealed that he gave Yeat his first professional sounding vocal preset, but also his connections. For many already attest that Yeat's association with Slay World members was Yeat's first introduction into the underground community of fans since the dissolved music collective that comprised of Summers, Autumn, Can, Goonie, and many more already garnered a fairly strong fan base. And although Wyland has distanced himself since then, he was once a member of this collective and the first member to really collaborate with Yeat organically, dating all the way back to early 2020 on tracks like Money Fetish and La La La. This relationship would eventually lead to Yeat working with the rest of the Slay World members and close affiliates like Summers, Goonie, Can, Isaiah TG, and Autumn throughout mid to late 2020 and early 2021 on a handful of tracks. Although technically, Summers is actually the first of the group to give Yeat an official feature on his I'm So Me album that released in January of 2020, but this could have merely been a transaction without any co-sign involved, at least yet. For Summers was one of the top dogs in the upcoming Plug and Be wave that dominated SoundCloud rap at the time, according to fellow upcoming rapper Lunchbox in his Kids Take Over interview. Yeat was also pretty active in the underground artist community, such as in Twitter and Instagram group chats, but nobody really paid him too much mind. Yeat's career didn't really start to bubble until early 2021 after the release of Whole Lotta Red, which many credit as the main influence behind the beat selection of the upcoming underground wave of artists, including high-energy electronic synths normally associated with hyperpop that Yeat's music utilizes elements of. Mind you, Trippie Redd, Sofaygo, Ken Carson, and others definitely played a part in this new direction for hip-hop as well, and some would say that Yeat was already rapping on these type of beats before Cardi even popularized it. But ironically, one of the first tracks to introduce Yeat to the underground community, known for its enthusiastic fan base, was Meh, a remix from Playboi Carti's Whole Lotta Red in collaboration with Autumn, arguably the other top dog of SoundCloud rap alongside Summers, aside from Sofego, who at the time was rumored to be in talks with signing to Travis Scott's Cactus Jack label. The song was released as a SoundCloud exclusive due to obvious clearance complications, but a few months later, Yeat capitalized on his newfound buzz by releasing a series of projects within a span of 6 months. The first of which, titled Alive, including the track War, that was personally my first glimpse into his discography live on stream with many of you all. The project performed fairly well organically considering his size, but attracted a small fan base to build from. Crazy enough, around this time, Yeat would predict the future of his career to 45 live viewers on Instagram.
Nah, when I dropped it, to me, 4L, I don't even like 4L, that shit sucked to me. But when I dropped Up to Me, like the album after this one, when I signed, shit, I'm finna blow up.
4L would release soon after in June of 2021, giving Yeat his first peek into mainstream success due to one of the tracks, Sorry About That, becoming a viral trend on TikTok, and thus far has received a gold certification at over 500,000 copies sold within the US. All the while under his own independent label imprint, Twizzy Rich, at least from the outside looking in. But his next album, Up to Me, with the help of Zach Bia's Field Trip Records and distribution by Interscope Geffen Records, would really take him to the next level. And with an additional 80,000 plus new fans awaiting the highly anticipated follow-up project to Sorry About That, Yeat failed to disappoint with yet another hit single, Get Busy, that TikTok once again fell in love with due to its iconic bell. The song even caught the attention of Drake on the day of its release, who quoted the song's famous bar referencing the bell on his Instagram story. A few days later, Yeat would be spotted in a photograph with Drake at a Certified Lover Boy release party in Houston. And the week after that, Yeat would finally release Up to Me, including production from top producers in the game such as the likes of Benny X, Filthy, Bugs Ronan, and many more. Not to mention yet another TikTok smash from Money So Big that early on denied any claims of being a one-hit wonder. And with his unique dress code and vernacular, Yeat somehow became a walking meme. In a good way though, being associated with much larger brands such as the Minions later on, as well as simply separating himself from the rest of the pack, in that most rappers act, dress, and talk in relatively the same manner. Because of the overwhelming success in such a short duration of time, he and Zach Bia would ink a major record deal in partnership with Interscope for multiple albums. And the rest was history. Yeat would go on to continually surpass sales expectations with each release and recruit significant co-signs from the likes of Gunna, Lil Uzi Vert, Young Thug, Lyrical Lemonade, NBA Youngboy, and practically the entire industry behind closed doors. His momentum shows no signs of stopping either. But what if I told you that's what they want you to believe? For it's no secret that record labels keep not so organic origin stories of their artists behind lock and key for the betterment of their career. It simply resonates more strongly with the fans if they believe the growth all came natural, solely because of how great the music and brand was. Hence why the music industry is so cautious against the term industry plant nowadays. There is no question Yeat was the fan favorite for the upcoming generation many deem as SoundCloud 2.0. But let's just say there were more organizations assisting in the background than we knew about. But let's start from the beginning to paint the bigger picture. Born Noah Oliver Smith on February 26, 2000, which would make Yeat 23 years old at the time of this recording, in Irvine, California, to a Romanian mother and Mexican and European American father alongside 2 brothers. His family spent his early childhood in Fullerton, California, before moving to Portland, Oregon, where he attended Lake Ridge High School. Upon graduating, Yeat flew to New York City to pursue his music career full-time before eventually moving to Los Angeles, where he currently resides and records most of his music. Yeat started making music in 2015 as a sophomore in high school under the pseudonym Lil Yeat, but has since dropped the Lil, likely in order to be taken more seriously as an artist, as the prefix has become all too common. Unfortunately, his earliest catalog under this rap name has been deleted or archived from the internet, never to be heard by the public. According to an interview with Our Generation Music, he came up with a stage name while smoking weed. He wanted a stage name that was one word, simple and relatable, where people feel like they've already heard the name. The word also apparently represented the combination of the meme word yeet and heat, which practically describes his career to a T. But before Yeat figured out how to successfully memeify himself, he had actually been releasing music consistently for about 5 or so years with little to no traction, compared to now at least. In fact, a couple of his projects, EPs, and singles accessed on streaming platforms have actually been revoked, and potentially for more reason than just being outdated. My journey through this rabbit hole began with Yeat's multiple debuts on Elevator Magazine's YouTube channel. That at the time was actually one of the most influential curators for upcoming music talent, dating all the way back to 2018 with the release of a single titled Brink from his Deep Blue Strips EP. And while Elevator did accept independent artist submissions for their blog and YouTube channel, typically unknown artists needed some sort of connection behind the scenes to premiere on their platform with millions of active subscribers. Over the next 7 months, Yeat would 2 more singles on their platform, including Loot featuring J-Band's 2 Turnt from Lil Yachty's Sailing Team, and Stay Up from his Wake Up Call album released in February of 2019. Not only is the sheer amount of premieres on the platform a bit suspicious, but also the large feature with respect to Yeat's following at the time. If Yeat was pursuing music full-time, where did he receive the budget to clear J-Band's 2 Turnt following consistent collaborations with the bubbling superstar Lil Yachty and Offset from the Migos? Well, the evidence may have been in front of our faces the whole time, in that practically all the early releases are claimed by Foundation Media and/or Streamcut, both multi-purpose media and marketing companies specializing in distribution, publishing, radio, and label services, with a fairly prestigious repertoire of artists such as Gunna, Lotto, Saucy Santana, Saw Baby, Homicide Gang, and countless other successful acts. Meaning that Yeat's recent and widely known record deal with Interscope Geffen was probably not his first deal. And likely this first deal was the entity that set in place all the Elevator Magazine premieres, funded studio time, and of course, features. Similarly, in July of 2019, Yeat recruited Nestle, another popular SoundCloud rapper at the time, for a single, Money Move, also distributed and likely funded by Streamcut. Around the same time, a video of Yeat surfaces at the headquarters of major streaming service Audiomack, promoting his latest collab tape, Different Creature, with Dutch DJ and producer Clibbo, already credited with production for Lil Uzi Vert, NBA Youngboy, and Lil Tecca, backed by, you guessed it, Streamcut. But here's where it gets interesting. Yeat's current discography seems to take a brief pause in 2020, wherein he only released 1 track the entire year, very unlike his typical schedule, or at least that remains public. For Yeat actually did release an album titled I'm So Me in January, surprisingly enough featuring Summers, a few months before developing a relationship with Wyland even, as well as industry level production from Wheezy and 1050. Again, all likely funded by someone in the background. But this project, among other singles such as Feel Like E.T., the release in December the year prior, have been wiped clean from official streaming platforms, aside from Yeat archive pages of course. But metadata and other evidence still exists as to what was really going on, in that during this time period, Yeat was actually signed to Mega Millions Music record label located in New York City, aligning perfectly with his public bio of moving to New York to pursue music full-time. Multiple old music videos from this era can be discovered on their public Instagram account as far back as December 4th, 2019 and into early 2020, including Feel Like E.T., as well as some tracks from the I'm So Me album. Not to mention, distribution credits confirm this record label played a role in the release of this project. Though, this business relationship didn't seem to last too long, as Yeat didn't release any more music in the future with them, nor has any other significant artist. Perhaps the record label simply wasn't as effective in promoting his music as he had hoped when he signed a deal with them, or perhaps with the cost of music videos, production, features, studio time, etc., Yeat simply wasn't profitable for the label. Allegedly, Yeat was actually working on the sequel to his previous collab tape, Different Creatures, but scrapped the concept due to label issues and focused primarily on becoming independent in 2021, when his consistent release schedule finally resumed. In fact, in January of that year, he would release Finally #Free, an obvious reference to being freed from his record label. and right as he was starting to pick up steam through his association with Slay World, among other underground figures, and take over SoundCloud rap for the next 2 years or so. Not bad timing. So although Yeat's explosion in the music scene seemed to take less than a year, from relatively unknown, even in the underground, to undeniably mainstream, his discography proves otherwise. But a casual peek into his Spotify profile would tell you that. The real mystery behind his career resides within his past record deals with Mega Millions Music, Streamcut, and Foundation Media. Not to say he's an industry plant in the slightest, because he definitely put in the work, releasing hundreds of songs before it finally paid off, but independent would be somewhat of a stretch due to all the hands involved in his career at different points since 2018, 3 years before gaining any traction. Far in contrast to popular belief that Yeat was completely independent until his first distribution deal with Interscope for Up To Me. What this teaches us more than anything though is to never stop trying. Failure is but a learning lesson to the next step in your journey, illustrated by Yeat's perseverance for over 6 years in multiple record deals to see a return on investment, something many cannot say they have endured. What is good, Cloudy people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bob Lamb, graduating law school in a matter of 2 days.
I love big beats. I love big beats.
This film will come out soon, bro. this shit's so hard, bro. Oh, it's so hard. Sounds like something that we in Sonic game.
love a big beat. I love a big beat.
Oh shit, yeah, bro. I forgot to add the tag on this beat, did I? I forgot to add the tag on this. Wait, where's that beat again, bro? I just remembered, bro. Oh, my bad. Supposed to add the tag like this.
I love elite beats. I love elite beats.
I'm gonna head off.